Hi, today we are going to see that surface hardening. Need for surface hardening. Many applications such as gears and crankshafts, camshafts require the hard and wear resistance of the surface and tough core to withstand the impact load. Such requirement of difficult to achieve by using the homogeneous composition of steel because the high carbon steel have the high hardness and low toughness, while low carbon steel have the high toughness and low hardness. The surface hardening is required to improve the hardness of the internally tough materials. That is, to increase the internally tough materials. The various types of surface hardening is there. So that is carburizing. Increasing the carbon content on the surface, subsequent heat treatment. Nitriding. Introducing the nitrogen surface to produce the nitride surface. Carbonitriding. Introducing the atomic nitrogen of the surface to produce the hydrocarbon nitride surface. Flame hardening. Hardening without any change of the composition of the surface. Induction hardening. It is hardening without any change of the composition of the surface. So these are all the surface hardening methods we are following in that. First of all, we will see that carburizing. The carburizing is the method of increasing the carbon on the surface of the steel followed by the subsequent heat treatment. Mere introducing the carbon on the surface does not result the hardness unless the carbon is present in the martensite form. So hence the hardness treatment is necessary to bring the martensite from after the carburizing. It is also known as the cementations, case hardening and carburizing and case hardening. It is used to steel have up to 0.8% Celsius. Then the steel is more than the 0.8% of Celsius and this do not require the carbon or the diffusion surface chain moderation transformation. Types of carburizing. Solid carburizing and gas carburizing, liquid carburizing. Solid carburizing. In this method, the components carburized are packed with some carbonized material in the steel or cast iron sealed clay. The usual carbonized material are hardwood and charcoal and coke and energizer or accelerator and sodium carbonate, calcium carbonate. The typical composition medium is 53 to 55%, 30 to 32% coke, remaining BA and NA and CA. The box is then heated some constant temperature, arsenic region, and soaked at this temperature until the desired degree of carbon penetration is achieved. The maximum carbon and its the case of depth is the temperature of carburizing and holding. Applications. The heat treatment increase the hardness of the small components. To increase the hardness of the small component at 925 to 950 degrees centigrade in the case of 1 to 2.5 mm for total carburizing time of 6 to 15 hours. Total carburizing is time of 6 to 15 hours. Roll carburizing. For obtaining very thin cases, roll carburizing may be used. That is, the very thin material is there means, so that can be done by the roll carburizing. It consists of heating the component 900 degrees centigrade. In the particular carburizing compound, the reheating of the same temperature, holding of some time, quenching under the water. Then it uses the perpendicular, non-toxic and carburizing compound registers the kinetic. In the case of the depth obtained in the roll carburizing is less than 0.1 mm. The depth of the that oddness depth may be there. When we are keep on using, the hardness may be gone. Then it comes to soft material is coming. So that there is a depth we have to, which is the depth. So that we have to decide. So after deciding, then we have to give the depth of that carbon, that hardening. So that is it. Gas carburizing. In this type of the gas carburizing, that components are heated in the presence of the carbonaceous gas. So it's like that methane, ethane, propane, butane, etc. and diluted with the carrier of the gas such as flue gases. The gas is used, the methane, ethane, then it is diluted, then it is heated. Then the carburizing gears diffuse the carbon in the street. It should be ensured that the gas composition circulations over the component is uniform and properly controlled. It is uniform and properly controlled. Gas carburizing produces extremely uniform cases within the shorter times. Uniform cases within the shorter times. It does not require the heating of any box and solid carburizer as in the case of pack carburizing. That is there. The temperature of the carbon diffusion is 900 to 925 degrees centigrades. That temperature. The application, the treatment of this carburizing is highly uniform. That is uniformly distributed. That depth up to 0.2 to 0.5 mm, obtained 1 to 2 hours, and it is 900 degrees centigrade. It is suited for the large volume of component. In the case of depth of the surface carbon extent. Then liquid carburization. What is that liquid carburizing? In this method, the carburizing is carried out by immersing the steel component in the liquid. That is immersing. That is, so far we have seen that heating that particular component. Here that component is immersing the carbonized and phased salt medium temperature austenite region. The salt consists of sodium cyanide, then sodium carbonate. Also added the solid bath alkaline earth salt, barium and calcium encourage the cyanide shapes. So this is there. Then when it is dipped, then all that component is getting hardened. Advantages: salt bath offers a rapid and uniform heating, low distortion, negligible surface oxidation, rapid absorption of carbon. Disadvantages: highly poisonous, hence requires the careful handling. Salt sticking to the surface must be removed by washing. The salt is sticking in that particular component, then it may be removed by means of that washing. What is the application? It is used for the rabbit production. Relatively, the corporate cases of small components, in the case of depth is 1.1 to 0.5 mm. The depth of that particular hardness is 0.1 to 0.5 mm. Then they obtain the period of half an hour to 1 hour. Heat treatment after carburizing. It is important to treat the carbon surface, carburize the component to achieve the optimum hardness. Then proper care should be taken. Avoid the cracking and wrapping of component. Then there are so many cycles we have to use for quenching that component. Direct quenching. What is the direct quenching? It involves the rapid quenching of carburized component in water or oil to reduce the brittleness of case. Faster cooling produces the martensite at the surface of steel and retain fine ferrite at the center. It is simplest and fastest after the treatment on carburized component and produces the minimum distortion. Double quench. Slow cooling from the carburizing temperature to room temperature, and thus avoiding the distortion and cracking of surfaces. Reheating to upper critical temperature and again quenching here by producing the ferrite at the core. Reheating the temperature is just above the low critical temperature of the case and quenching and improve the case of properties. Tempering of steel is relieve the internal stresses. Tempering of steel is relieve the internal stresses. Case refining quench. It is this involves different quenching from the carburizing temperature, the room temperature, followed by reheating to just above the lower critical temperature. After the treatment produces, refine the grain size and reduce the amount of retained austenite. Then core refining quench. The treatment involves the slow cooling from the carburizing temperature to room temperature, followed by reheating to just above the upper critical temperature of the core, and again quenching to the room temperature. This after the treatment gives the superior core properties with compromise in the properties obtained at the case. Nitrating. Nitrating is the process of forcing the diffusion of atomic nitrogen in the steel to form respective nitrates and increase the surface hardness. It consists of heating the steel in contact with the source of atomic nitrogen. Molecular nitrogen is chemically ineffective in the nitrating medium. The surface for atomic nitrogen can be molten salt bath obtaining the NaCN similar to liquid carburizing without addition of alkaline heat salt NH3. The temperature nitrating is 550 degrees centigrade, which is quite low for carbon to diffuse the steel microstructure, only nitrating takes place. Gas nitrating. In that gas nitrating, the nitrogen is produced dissociation to the ammonia. The control over the dissociation circulation of nitrogen needs to be ensured. The diffused atomic nitrogen reacts the ion in the form of the layer ion and nitride. This layer appears highly brittle in nature. It remains on the surface of the component till the nitrating process continues. It is then removed by the precision grinding or lapping, which is difficult and not cost justified. It is very difficult. The cost is not justified. No heat treatment can be done after nitrating because the surface layer is very thin. It will be damage the nitrates or heat treated. In the presence of alloying element, aluminum, chromium, magnesium, vanadium and tin, the best properties of nitrating are observe the tempered martensite structures. Advantages of nitrating over the carburizing. Nitrating is performed at relatively lower temperatures and no quenching is required. Distortion is reduced to minimum. The growth in the volume of the key is constant and it is predictable for given part and cycle. Some complex parts which cannot be case hardened satisfactorily by carburizing can be nitrated without difficulty. Wear resistance is outstanding characteristics. Nitrate the case of and is responsible for its selection and most applications. The hardness of nitrates case of unaffected by heat to temperature below the original initial temperature. The substantial hardness is up to 620 degrees centigrade, which is in marked contrast with the carburized case begins the loose hardness relatively low temperatures. Fatigue resistance also an important advantages of nitrating. Camshafts, crankshafts and bushing, cylinders, lines, etc. will be done by the carburizing. This is the easy advantages of that carburizing. Nitrating process with hardness 1000 to 1200 VPN, while carburized cases have the hardness 835 VPN, equivalent to 855 RC. The hardness is up to 600 degrees centigrade. Disadvantages: in the case of depth is usually less than 0.5 mm. Requires more time to 24 to 74 hours. 72 hours it will take. It will take 3 days. So that is it. In this type of carburizing. Then carbonitrating, it is a combination of carburizing and nitrating surface hardening treatment. Carburizing improves the service of life of the component and nitrating high surface hardness. The source of carbon atomic nitrogen can be fused salt bath or any gaseous medium containing the methane, ethane and ethane etc. and 5 to 10% of ammonia. The surface of the component heated to temperature above and lower critical temperature in the range of 750 to 850 degrees centigrade. The atomic nitrogen diffuses the ferrite phase and carbon diffuses the austenite. The amount of nitriding and carburizing can be controlled by varying the temperatures. This is followed by quenching to produce the martensite. The case depth obtained is less, hence the carbonhydrate components are directly used without any further machining or treatment. The treatment is the best suitable for alloy steels. Advantages: by proper temperature control, properties of both carburizing and nitriding can be obtained. The carbonhydrate components like high surface of the carbon and high toughness in there. It produces the excellent wear resistance. The hardness of nitride in the case of unaffected by heating the temperatures below the original nitriding temperatures. Fatigue resistance is also important advantages of nitriding. Disadvantages: precise control over the temperature is required. The temperature, when the temperature is there, the precise control should be there on the temperature. When the temperature is increased, there is a problem maybe happens. It is expensive. It is expensive. Flame hardening. The flame hardening is the process of surface layer of the steel to temperature above its upper critical temperature by means of bearing teams followed by the water quenching. Then after the water quench to transform the surface of the austenite and hard martensite, the flame is generally used for the oxyacetylene. The flame hardening is carried out by the following thing: the spot facing. Spot facing, the spot is localized area, the heated and quenched. The localized area is heated and quenched. The progressive flame hardening, that continuous flame hardening, quenching across the length of the surface. It is a continuous flame hardening, quenching across the length of the spinning flame hardening. It consists of stationary flame rotating or spinning the workpiece. Then it is quenched. It consists of, that is, combination flame hardening. In this, it consists of rotating the workpiece and transfers the moving flame torch. So this is the types of flame hardenings. Then what are the applications of that flame hardening? That application is used for the medium carbon steels and drive the shafts and gears etc. The high carbon steel is used to hard tools and drills and the rock bits. Then alloy steels is automobile valves and bearings etc. The large sized components such as lathe bits etc. So this is also done by the flame hardening. Advantages: this process is very simple. That variety of the steels can be hardened, that can be applied at any shape. Any shape you can do this. Then selective hardening can be done. It is cheaper. Only the few parts of the surface hardened. Disadvantages: difficult to control the temperature. Overheating maybe takes place, resulting in the formation of the coarse martensite. An expensive method of mass production. This is expensive method of mass production. Case depth cannot be adjusted exactly. Some oxidation or decarburization always occurs. Explosive gases are required continuously. So these are all the disadvantages of this carburization. Then indexing hardening. What is that indexing hardening? Indexing that hardening, the treatment work on the principles of heating the steel on the surface of steel using the high frequency of electrical current followed by the surface quenching. The component is heated by means of inductor coil, which consists of large number of turns of water cooled. That alternating magnetic field is generated with high frequency of current through the copper tubes. The electromagnetic is produced the eddy current with high frequency in the surface of layer heating to the upper critical temperature. The phenomenon is asking that effect. The depth of hardening is inversely proportional to the square root of the frequency of induced current. The usual depth of hardening obtained by the 0.5 to 6 mm through the frequency 1000 to 1 lakh Hz. Then these heated components are then quenched in the water. Due to the fast heating quenching, the martensite is produced is the fine grained. The induction hardening is usually followed by the tempering. Induction hardening is usually followed by the tempering. Steel with carbon content between 0.3 to 0.6% can be satisfactorily hardened by the induction hardening. Steel's carbon is less than the 0.3%. Advantages: selective localized hardening, economical for the mass production, operating cost is less, good properties are obtained for low grade steels, no oxidation is there. Then case of depth can be controlled, high hardness is obtained, high fatigue strength is there, it can be used for the production line. Disadvantages: not suitable for irregular shaped components, no economical for small scale production. Torrefied. Torrefied is the salt bath of nitrating process invented by the Jesuka of West Germany. The process is developed to improvement the surface properties such as wear resistance and anti-seizing, anti-gailing properties, corrosion resistance, fatigue strength, components made from the steel, cast iron, etc. In this process, the poisonous salt such as sodium and potassium cyanide are not used. The process is carried out in an aerated molten salt bath, which is maintained in the temperature range 525 to 575 degrees centigrade. The time required for the process is generally half an hour to 2 hours. The process produces a thin and hard layer on the surfaces, which is supported by the tough layer. After toughening, the composites component are cooled in the another salt bath to increase the corrosion resistance. The results obtained toughening the process are highly reliable and predictable and repeatable. surself. Surself is a process which is similar to purified invented by the Messrs. Ferment from the France. Similar to purified is the surself, also non-polluting and non-poisonous on the liquid bath nitrating process. In this process, both consist of alkaline and carbonides stabilized by the addition lithium compounds and very small quantity of the sulfur. During the process, the steel components are immersed in the above salt bath, which is maintained the temperature of 560 to 550 degrees centigrade. The time required process is generally half an hour to 2 hours. These result in the formation of a compound zone rich in nitrogen and containing the sulfur, which improves the properties like wear resistance, corrosion resistance, fatigue resistance, suffering resistance, and seizure resistance. During the process, the stresses are produced surface are higher than the produced by the turfing process. Hence, by the surself process, improvement in the fatigue resistance is better than that by the other surface hardening process. Both the turfide and surself process are commonly used for the components such as cams, camshafts, crankshafts, connecting rod, piston rods, valves, rockers, gears, cutters, saw blades, and axes, chain brackets, so chain links, etc. For both process, the thickness at shown generally 0.5 mm with the surface hardness 1000 to 1300 ppm. Thermal surface hardening and diffusion hardening. It consists of the heating the surfaces of steel to austenite region, followed by rapid cooling to obtain the martensite transformation. It consists of diffusion of carbon or atomic nitrogen with further heat treatment obtain the martensite transformation. It is a heat treatment process conducted only on the surface of the component. It does not need further heat treatment in the case of nitrating process. It does not alter the composition of the steel. It changes the composition of the steel. It is used for the medium high carbon steel. It is used for the medium carbon steel. So, within this surface hardening is ended, then there is when it is doing that hardening, there is a deformation is there on that component. There will be that deformation. Whatever the deformation is there, then slip, twinning, and both acting simultaneously. Slip, it is referred for shearing planes. The slip is defined as the displacement part of the crystal relation to the other. Slip occurs specific plane in a specific direction. It is a specific plane in that specific direction. The crystal structure consists of the number of parallel planes. It consists of number of parallel planes. Slip initiate at one of the planes. The plane on one which takes place is called slip plane, and the direction in which the slip occurs is called slip direction. A series of slip planes sliding on one another then appear like the band, and the microscope is called slip band. Slip occurs because of sharing action of the set atoms over the slip plane. The crystal structures above and below the slip plane remains undistorted. The slip plane and slip direction can be easily identified more than the one plane. The face centered crystal structure, that is FCC, body central crystal structure BCC, eye pack crystal structure HCC. So twinning, what is the twinning? The twinning also occurs the crystal structures subjected to the stress. In twinning, atoms in the crystals rearrange themselves in such a way that the deformed and distorted part of the mirror image, the original unique distorted part of the either side of the twinning plane. The original undistorted part of the crystal referred as the parent, distorted part referred as a twin. The plane across which the parts of the crystal from the mirror image is called twinning plane. Mechanical treatment. The twinning caused due to the mechanical treatment is referred the mechanical twins. It occurs during the working such as forming and bonding, etc. Thermal treatment. Twin is caused a thermal twins. The twins are formed during the cooling stage, annealing treatment of metals, brass, alpha brass, etc. FCC and BCC and HCC is there. The difference between the slip and twinning, slipped portion of the crystal structure has the same orientation as that the original structure. The twinned crystal structure is the mirror image of the original structure. Twinned crystal structure is the mirror image of the original structure. The stress required to initiate the slip is less. Stress required to initiate the twinning is more. Stress required the propagation of slip is more. Stress required the propagation of twinning is less. Slip is shear displacement of an entire block of crystal. Twinning is uniform shear strain of part of the crystal. Slip can be positive or negative. Twinning can be the mirror image. Slip appears the thin line in the microscopic structure. Twin appears the thick lines in the microscopic structure. Slip can be made disappear by polishing the surface slips. Twinning lines remains even after polishing. Slip occurs due to the plastic deformation of metal. Twinning occurs mechanical working of metals and the thermal treatment. Generally, FCC and BCC metals often slow slip when plastically deformed. Generally, HCP metals often wins the twinnings when subjected of plastic deformation. Deformation of single crystal slip. The process of deformation of slip mechanism can be easily understood by the deformation of single crystal. It can also Schmidt law. Let us consider a cylindrical crystal subjected to tensile force. The force is acting along the axis. Due to the force, particular cross section of the crystal subjected to the slip the resolved stress of the slip plane, shear force along the slip divided by cross section area of the slip plane. The resolved shear stress further resolved along the direction x and y. The value of resolved stress along the direction, the particular value is called the critical shear stress. The slip occurs by sliding the plane one of the above for the conditions when the ends of the crystal are not constrained. For conditions where the ends of the constrained slip by the low rotation of the slip planes, there is a non-constrained and constrained slips are there. The value of critical shear stress constant every material is depends upon the bonding between the crystal and impurity, temperature and alloying elements, rate of deformation, etc. Critical stress is lower of FCC and copper, aluminium, magnesium, BCC for Fe and molybdenum. FCC is a higher ductility than the BCC. Effects of cold working and in that annealing. Cold working is a defined process of working the material for non-metals of the recrystallization temperature. Cold working results in strain, hardening, distortion, grain and crystallography of the structures. Various mechanical properties depend upon the crystallographic structures. That is, in that cold working, there is a electrical resistance is there, internal stresses is there, tensile strength is there, hardness is there, corrosion resistance is there, ductility is there. Due to the cold working, the hardening takes place, the material gets the plastic deformation of hardness. Tensile strength increases with increased hardness material. Internal stress, the large number of dislocation during the cold working. Electrical resistance, distortions, crystal structure increase the electrical resistance after the cold working. Corrosion resistance increase the distortion planes, structures decreased by the corrosion resistance of the material. Ductility, due to the increased hardness and strength and ductility of the material, decreases. The cold working is the certain properties of making the material hard and brittle. In order to material after the cold working, it speeds made relatively sparse, soft and ductile. This can be done by heating the material through the process is called annealing. Annealing consists of heating the material some temperature above the recrystallization temperature, holding it at the temperature of a definite time, then cooling it to the room temperature is defined the cooling rate. Then the changes of property in the material during the stages annealing as shown. Hardness, tensile strength, internal stress, electrical resistance, corrosion resistance and ductility. The stages of annealing. Recovery of polygonization and recrystallization, grain growth. What is that recovery? Recovery is a low temperature phenomena and associated with relief of main stresses caused by cold working. Recovery causes no appreciable change of the microstructure. The mechanical properties, hardness, tensile strength, etc. do not change much during this recovery. But due to the reduction of distortion and internal stresses, the electrical resistance of the material maybe decreases. The process involved in heating the material is 0.1 Tm degree K when the Tm is melting the material absolute temperature of this scale. During heating, some dislocations, some vacancy of internal spaces, dislocation loops get rearranged for the lattice. Dislocation also tends to align themselves from the walls, and dislocation is one of the above. The constitute of formation of angle boundaries within the normal boundaries. Recrystallization, recovering the stage followed by the recrystallization structure, and recrystallization result in formation of new grains and nucleation of growth of these grains. Nucleation starts at the areas of high energy and then that new continuous growth of replacing the old grains. Distorted grains is disappeared and new equi-axed grained are structured and formed. The microstructure after the recrystallization is similar before the cold work. Several mechanical properties of the material changes in microstructure. The microstructure formation depends upon the recrystallization temperature. Recrystallization temperature is the melting degree of cold work, grain size, impurity present, heating time, and recrystallization is noticeable for change the properties of the microstructure of material. The effects of recrystallization: the hardness and tensile strength is reduces, internal stresses reduces when the corrosion resistance is increases, disappearance of the distorted and denoted by the grinds, disappearance of the slick marks, new equi-axed defined formation, grain growth, the third stage of followed by the recrystallization. It is a phenomenon of heating the material with high temperature, of kept annealing the temperature of longer resulting in the grain growth. The grain growth implies the grain size. Then as a result of grain growth, the grain grow is still smaller and absorb the larger grains still larger. Grain growth is marked by the reduction in fine grains, but these cores of large grains formed by the grain growth are not generally desired because they impair the mechanical properties. Annealing temperature and annealing time, rate of heating and alloying element and degree of cold working. This is the growth of temperature. When it is that, what is that hot working? The hot working is defined as the working of material above the recrystallization temperature. Due to working of recrystallization of temperature, the material structure undergoes the simultaneous working and recrystallization. Therefore, it can be appropriately said that not working in the equivalent to the combination of cold working and annealing. The rapid hot working is above the recrystallization temperature will give the distorted structure similar to that of obtained after the cold working. Since the deformation is during hot working, it is great at the surface at the center, and the surface will show the fine recrystallized and gained structure. Comparison of hot working and cold working. Cold working, it involves the work material below the recrystallization temperature. This is above the recrystallization temperature. Microstructure is distorted and elongated in shape. The microstructure is resorted and original equivalent axial shape. The mechanical properties like strength and hardness increases. In this, strength and hardness is restored in the original values. Ductility and impact strength is decreases. Ductility and impact strength is restored to the original values. Defect density increases. Defect density and particularly dislocation density will increase. Vacancies may be rearranged or may increase. The blowholes may get the welded up. Continuous working on the metal cannot be done due to the possibility of cracking. Material can be continuous working without any cracking. The energy required for the plastic deformation is more. Due to the high temperature, the metals become soft, so energy required for the plastic deformation is less. Chemical eternity of the original material is required for the cold working. The chemical eternity was greatly reduced due to the diffusion process at high temperature. Requires high working stress but produces the good surface finish and gives a close tolerance. Requires lower working stress but surface finish is not good. Due to the oxidation of embrittlement. No oxidation metal occurs during the cold working. Heavy oxidation of the metal occurs during the hot working with the high temperature. Hence the working is followed pleasing move the oxides. No surface decomposition occurs. Then protective atmosphere is not used. Handling of component is easier and cost of handling is less. Handling of components is difficult and cost of handling is high. Working tools and machinery is used as cheaper. Working tools and machinery used are expensive. It is used for ordinary steels. It is used for alloy steels. So far we have seen this material for that mechanical deformation. Then what is that mechanical deformation? The deformation is nothing but deformation is nothing but when you are heating the material, when the material is heated, there is some deformation will be there. In that microstructure, that one material, when you are taking that one material, there is some microstructure is there. For aluminum, different microstructure is there. Brass, there is some different microstructure. For MS, there is different microstructure. High-speed steel, there is different microstructure. Carbide tool, there is a microstructure. So every microstructure is different. When you are heating, that microstructure is collapsed and changed that deformation in that material. Then in this chapter we have seen that the twinning. What is the twinning? The twinning is just twisting the material. Just twisting the material. You can see in that rods. We are having the twisted rod we are using for the construction material. In that construction material we are using the twisting rod. Why? Because means it is that material when we are putting the cement and other things, that is adhere with that particular rods. So that is the twisting of rods. When we are twisting that we can find out the strength of that rod also. At that heat it is twisted. Heat it is twisted. So that is why the twisting rods are used. Then the thermal treatment. In that thermal treatment, the material this thing may be changed. Then in that there is a hot working and cold working is there. In that when it is the cold working, what is that cold working? When you are making that material, for example, when you are producing tumbler or plate, you are getting the sheet. In that sheet you are having the die. In that die you are making that plate and sheet, plate and tumblers. That is only for only the cold working. That cold working, when you are keeping the sheet on that press, then it is produced the component. The component is produced. In this cold working, when you are doing that cold working, there is the electrical resistance will be changed. The thermal is increased. The tensile strength also increases. Then hardness also increases. So this is there in that cold working. What is that hard working? That is the smithy work. There is one of the smithy work. There is the hard working. When you are going to make that hammer, suppose hexagonal hammer you are going to make, that is a shape. But suppose pin hammer you are going to make, that is a different shape. That is not a regular shape. So when you are going to make that component on that hot working, we have to heat that particular rod. Then you are keep it in the die. Then it is there is a die is moving up and down. Then it is clear the material. Then you are getting the shape. After trimming, you are getting the shape. So that is there in that hot working. And what is the difference between the hot working and cold working is, in that cold working changes will be very less. The crystallization changes will be very less. Below the recrystallization temperature, it is working. So here above the recrystallization temperature, it is working. So that is the difference of that hot working and cold working. Okay, then